Hi there, it's Kirsty from Twisted Wicked here. So I'm back again doing a review on the Between the Worlds shadow casting with Bone and Curio Oracle cards by Monica Budersky on behalf of Tabby. So just a bit about the author before I start looking at the actual deck. So Monica is a Canadian artist. She's an author and a consultant who her passion in life is to empower people through earth-based self-help mythologies. She's got a number of works which are bestsellers, including the Shadowland Tarot deck, the Shadowland Lenormand, and obviously most recently this one here. So she identifies as a walker between worlds and practices familiar folk magic, which is of her northern, eastern and south European heritage. So she's quite a sought after international speaker who does lots of talks on witchcraft, divination and creativity. So this Oracle deck was actually published by a company called Red Feather, Mind, Body and Spirit. So they were founded in 2017 as an imprint of Scheffler Publishing, which I didn't really look much into that because obviously this is quite a new publisher as such, but they focus mainly on sort of empowerment through shadow work, oracle decks, a lot of sort of bone casting and working with spiritual sort of readings, decks, all sorts of things like that. But they come from obviously Scheffler, which is an established publisher, which is actually quite known for creating quite high quality, unique books and decks, which are a wide range of categories with them. But as I say, these are more towards personal transformation, self-understanding, self-empowerment, and things like that. So that's all the sort of background of the author and the publishers. So this it retails at £24.99, so I think that's in UK pounds it's about £20. So with this deck, it is quite, sorry, I've got one of my little tabs hanging out there. So it's a magnetic clip box. So once again, a real sturdy box. You know, it's not a massive box, which is quite nice. So it fits perfectly on a bookshelf. It's got some lovely illustrations on it, as you can see. So all of these are actually then illustrated further on the cards, which we'll go in to have a look at. Okay, so on the back it tells you a bit about this 46 symbol oracle deck. Okay, and it then says about two favourite divination systems, so cartomancy and bone curio casting. So yeah, that I'll go into in a bit more. So there's a bit more about Monica there. Okay, so this guidebook is really quite, it's a decent sized book and it's got a lot in it. Okay, so from my little tabs, as you can see, that there is purely on how to use the cards and sort of the spreads and layouts and things like that she recommends. Whereas all of these at the front are the actual cards, and it gives you a perception. It gives you a sort of a basic overview of the card, so you know, thought or disinterest. So I'm guessing that that's whether it's upright or reversed. So if it's upright, you know, there's thoughts. If it's in reverse, then you know, it's sort of disinterest, ignorance, ignoring something. So she tells you a little story about the card. Okay, so she has illustrated little sort of tales, I suppose is the word, to go with each card, and then it tells you about the item. Because the thing is, just to come back to that a minute, so this is based on her little box of curio stuff that she uses for divination. So she's collected things over the years, so such as a doll's head, okay, and a little car keyring, or just a little car out of a cracker. She may have found a thimble or a ring somewhere, and all of that goes into her little divination box, okay, which she does tell the story of all this in the beginning, and that's how she does her divination, using sort of objects that she's found to do shadow casting readings. So basically like when you'd cast some runes and you'd read those. So instead, Monica uses the items that she has found, that she's on her journeys. It explains in here that she once had a box of nails and there was all sorts of stuff in there and she couldn't take it through an airport. So it is quite odd, some of the items that are in here, to know that somebody carries that around with them. But obviously in a card form, it's a lot more compact, it's a lot different. And it is different because this isn't something that I've come across before in a concept like this. So going back to each card, sorry to have jumped off on a tangent there. So it will tell you then, obviously, like I said, about the item. It will give you a message that is linked to that item. So as you would with a rune, you know, you'd be given the basic meanings. You might be given a sort of a small affirmation or something like that that goes with it. So this is more of a reading, and then it gives you the advice for each card, and it has got an upright and a reversed meaning. And then it gives you food for thought in regards to reflection, which I find that when I was using these, that was a really good journal inspo. So those questions there, like, are you ready to accept ancient wisdom that may not align with your desires? Do you celebrate your ancestors? Really gets you thinking about your practice and the sort of things that perhaps you would like to incorporate, or things that you don't consider normally that perhaps you should. So how do you feel about unexpected things? And just, you know, really sort of, where do you feel control or lack of control in your life? Gives you lots of journaling for self-discovery and self-development. So it really is a lovely little deck when it comes to that. Like I said, I just found it quite odd with some of the items that are in here, to know that somebody would carry that around like a doll's head and a skull as a sort of divination tool in their handbag, if that makes sense. So yeah, so like I said, a really lovely sized book, goes into a hell of a lot of detail. So really is worth it, because it companions these so much that you actually, you know, you need this book in order to be able to read these, I feel, because like I said, it was a fantastic tool for journaling, self-development and shadow work. So this really is a fantastic little deck for if you are looking at wanting to dive into shadow work. And as I say, it's a lovely little size deck, really is like a little pocket size deck. So she has made it that it's more travel suitable, I should say, providing that she carries this and not her big box of oddities around with her, each to their own. So when we go through the cards, obviously these are not in order because I have been using them. So you've got like the doll's leg. So the quality of the deck, the cardstock, it is matte. It is flimsy. It will get damaged quite easily. So it's not a fantastic cardstock. And it's not, you know, when you get your laminated cards that you could wipe clean, or that extra layer or coating helps sort of make them more durable. These, I feel, if you were to carry these around and something was to leak in your bag, they would be damaged, unfortunately, because it is just like a basic sort of cardstock. And as you can see, it is quite flimsy, but then again, that does make it easier for shuffling when you do have a more flexible deck. Just individually, I feel that they are not very durable. Okay, so let's look through them. The artwork is fantastic. This has all been done by hand by Monica. So as I say, she is a professional artist, and she has created all of these. I do believe that it was through watercolour. So as you can see, there's lots of different ones. So little hearts, there's the ring. So when I was working with this deck, obviously I've already said that I found it really quite useful when it came to self-development, self-empowerment, and when carrying out shadow work, and particularly when journaling. I feel that this is based at people that would be showing interest into more witchcraft rather than divination, just purely because obviously objects have significant meanings to different people, different cultures. So this is very much, I felt very witchcraft based, which I did connect to, don't get me wrong, although I will say it's not something that I felt drawn to use as often as I would have hoped, or that I would have liked. I do find that the artwork, as I say, it all does go really well, don't get me wrong, it all complements each other really well. I think I just prefer something a little bit brighter, and I don't, sometimes I quite like more chunkier cards to shuffle, because these, I don't know, it felt like as if I was playing with a little playing card deck, if that makes sense. But then again, like I said, it's compact, it's cute, it's handy. I would just be mindful, as I say, because of the cardstock, in regards to travelling. And yeah, but like I said, the artwork is fabulous, I feel, to know that these have all been hand painted by the actual author and creator. It's very personal to her. I don't know whether that's possibly why I don't tend to reach for it so much, because it does dive into, you know, how personal it is to her and a lot about of her background, and then therefore you sort of feel as though you shouldn't be using it. Does that make sense? Just, I can't really say that I have a favourite card. I feel that they're all equal, if that makes sense. I don't feel drawn to any particular card. I don't dislike any particular card. Yeah, I've not been wowed by this, if that makes sense. You can probably tell by my voice, so I do apologise. It's good for somebody that, like I say, is working towards shadow work, that does like this sort of divination in regards to bone casting. In regards to an oracle card deck, it's handy and very useful, but you do need the guidebook. It's not something that you could pick up and sort of intuitively read, I don't feel. Somebody else may, but I don't feel that it is, unfortunately. So yeah, so that's the Between the Worlds and my opinion. Okay, so as I say, I do love it. I do think it's very quirky, very different. I only really work with it when it comes to shadow work and journaling and self-development, but then it's not my go-to. Okay, perhaps I just need to work with it a little bit more and maybe open up a little bit more to it. But yeah, it's worth a look. I just want to say thank you to Tabby, and thank you to the publisher, and also thank you to the author, because she has done a lovely job here. You know, and I'm sure that there are people out there that will appreciate it a lot more than what I feel that I have. But I will continue to work with it, and hopefully, you know, if I do develop an alternative sort of connection or opinion, then I'm more than happy to do an update on my review. That's not a problem. But yeah, so this has been the Between the Worlds with Monica Budersky, and hopefully I shall see you soon with another review. Take care.